Have you ever wondered what really happened to the soldiers of the Cold War's strangest front? The stories you love, the worlds you get lost in, just vanish. One day they are broadcast into our living rooms. The next, their history is a blank page. But some blank pages are actually redacted files. August 8, 1953. A man is born who will eventually step into an accelerator and vanish. May 5, 1993, a title card fades onto a television screen. It delivers a single brutal sentence that traumatized a generation. Dr. Sam Beckett never returned home. It wasn't a cliffhanger. It was an obituary. Today, we are opening the sealed personnel file of Project Quantum Leap. We aren't just looking at a TV show. We are analyzing the operational log of a man who fought a war against time itself and lost. I'm an engineer and a historian. I've spent years auditing official records and interrogating the gaps between them. The official narrative tells us Dr. Beckett was a scientist. He was lost in time. He wanted to go home. That narrative is incomplete. When you analyze the data, Sam Beckett wasn't just a scientist. He was a soldier. His leaps were not accidents. They were deployments. And his failure to return home wasn't a glitch in the machine. It was a choice. To understand why, I've created the status system to organize our findings. Confirmed means the evidence is direct and verified by the original project logs. Reconstructed means the story is carefully rebuilt from fragmented data and psychological profiling. And speculative means we are connecting the dots where the records are silent, piecing together what could have been. This is more than just a channel. This is a living archive, a mission to uncover the truth. History is a burden, and no one carried a heavier burden than Sam Beckett. Let's open the file. Let's begin with the hard data. Status confirmed. Project Quantum Leap was never safe. It was a rush job. In 1995, Dr. Beckett stepped into the Quantum Leap accelerator. He vanished. The official objective was simple: prove that time travel is possible within one's own lifetime. But the parameters shifted immediately. Upon arrival in the past, Sam found himself trapped in the aura of another person. To leap again, he had to change history. The project called this putting right what once went wrong. Think about that phrasing. It implies that history has a correct shape. It implies that time is not chaotic, but broken. And Sam was the mechanic sent to fix it. The confirmed data tells us Sam was guided by an artificial intelligence named Ziggy. Ziggy predicted outcomes based on probability, but Ziggy was often wrong. This brings us to the operational handler, Rear Admiral Albert Calavici. Al was Sam's anchor, a holographic projection that only Sam could see and hear. Their dynamic is the core of the mission. Al represents the military-industrial complex. He wants the mission completed. He wants the funding secured. But Al is also the heart. He is the only link to the home Sam is trying to reach. Here is the crucial data point most people miss. Sam Beckett did not travel through time linearly. He bounced back and forth within a fixed period, 1953 to 1999. This was a closed loop, a cage. Every time Sam leaped, he replaced someone. He took the physical space of a person facing a crisis. He was thrown into burning buildings, into the bodies of pregnant women, into the cockpit of crashing jets. This wasn't exploration. This was combat triage. The project theorized that God, or fate, or time itself, was controlling the leaps. They personified the force driving Sam. They assumed a higher intelligence was at the wheel. But confirmed reports show that the accelerator was flawed. Sam wasn't just sliding through time, he was punching holes in it. He was generating a string theory effect. His mere presence altered the structural integrity of reality, and the toll this took on his mind was catastrophic. We move now to the psychological profile. Status reconstructed. We must reconstruct the damage done to Dr. Beckett's mind. The project files refer to a side effect called Swiss cheese memory. Upon leaping, Sam would lose specific details of his own life, his name, his wife, his achievements. The project framed this as a malfunction, a side effect of the magnetic resonance. I propose a different theory. The memory loss was a survival mechanism. Imagine remembering everything you have lost, every single second of every single day. Imagine remembering the warmth of your own bed while you are standing in a mud trench in Vietnam. If Sam remembered everything, he would have collapsed. The magnaflux energy didn't just scramble his brain, it scrubbed it. It allowed him to focus on the mission at hand. It turned him into the perfect soldier. A soldier with no past, only a present. Let's look at the Lee Harvey Oswald file. In this reconstruction, we see the horror of the project. Sam leaped into Oswald. He leaped into a Secret Service agent. He leaped repeatedly into the same event to save Jackie Kennedy. He failed to save John F. Kennedy. The history books remained written in blood. This broke something in him. It proved that some events are fixed points. No matter how hard the engineer tries, some structural failures cannot be repaired. Over time, Sam's identity began to erode. He lived hundreds of lives. He was a boxer, a pilot, a mother, a racism victim, a mentally disabled man. He absorbed their trauma. He felt their pain. He didn't just observe history, he bled for it. We have to ask, how much of Sam Beckett was left by the end? If you replace every part of a ship, is it still the same ship? If you replace every memory of a man with the memories of strangers, is he still the same man? By the time we reach the final logs, the reconstruction suggests Sam was no longer fully human. He was a vessel, a collection of saved lives, held together by a fraying thread of duty. He wanted to go home, but home was becoming an abstract concept. He remembered Donna, his wife, only in flashes. He was losing the war for his own soul, even as he won battles for everyone else. Now we enter the unknown. Status, speculative. We must analyze the final transmission, the event at mirror image. August 8, 1953, Sam leaps into a mining town in Pennsylvania. It is the exact date and time of his birth. He walks into a bar. The bar is filled with people he has met throughout his leaps, but they are different, and there is a bartender. The files refer to this entity simply as Al. This is not Al Calavici. This is the entity that has been driving the car. Is he God? Fate? Time? I believe he is a commanding officer. In this speculative analysis, the bar is a debriefing room. Sam asks the question he has asked for years. Why have you sent me home? The bartender's answer changes everything. He tells Sam that he isn't being controlled. You are the one doing this, Sam. You are the one driving. This implies that the project's theory was wrong. Ziggy was wrong. There was no invisible hand forcing Sam to leap. Sam was subconsciously leaping himself. Why? Because the work wasn't done. Sam Beckett has a saving people thing. That is how the bartender describes it. It is a compulsion, a moral imperative. If Sam went home, the suffering would continue. People would die. Marriages would fail. History would crack. He could not turn away. This leads to the final choice. Sam leaps one last time, not to save a stranger, but to save his friend. He visits Al's wife, Beth. He tells her Al is coming home. He prevents their divorce. He rewrites his best friend's history. In doing so, he ensures Al has a happy life, a life filled with love and children. But by fixing Al's life, Sam severs his own tether. If Al is happy with Beth, the timeline shifts. The frantic search for Sam might lose its urgency. Sam traded his own rescue for Al's happiness. This is why he never returned home. It wasn't a tragedy of circumstance. It was a tragedy of character. Sam Beckett ascended. He stopped being a man lost in time. He became time's guardian. He realized that home wasn't a place in New Mexico. Home is where the fight is. He is still out there, in the gaps between seconds, fixing the things that once went wrong. The file remains open-ended, but the conclusion is clear. Sam Beckett is not a victim. He is a volunteer on an eternal deployment. We often feel that history is a series of accidents, that we are helpless against the tide of events. The story of Project Quantum Leap argues otherwise. It argues that one person, with enough courage, can change the world, one life at a time. If you want to help me preserve these lost histories, consider subscribing. Join the archive. Help me audit the records. Ensure the stories you care about don't just end at cancellation. Let's uncover their true history together.